In a courtroom already thick with tension, the battle for custody of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos took a turn no one saw coming, except, perhaps, Nina Reeves. With her sharp instincts and an eye for unspoken truths, Nina had grown increasingly convinced that Sasha Gilmore was hiding something monumental. Her intuition told her that Sasha's sudden avoidance, nervous glances, and emotional volatility weren't mere remnants of past traumas. They were signs of something more recent, more personal. Something that could shift the balance of the entire trial. Convinced that Sasha carried not only secrets but the potential undoing of Michael's already fragile position, Nina turned to Rick Lansing with a plan to expose the truth. Rick, never one to shy away from controversy or manipulation, agreed. It was a calculated move, one with risks, but with stakes high enough to warrant the gamble. With Nina's quiet prodding and Rick's courtroom acumen, Sasha was subpoenaed to testify, setting in motion a cascade of revelations that would leave no member of the Corinthos family untouched. On the day of her appearance, Sasha entered the courtroom with visible anxiety. Dressed modestly and clutching her handbag like a lifeline, she avoided eye contact with nearly everyone in the room, especially Michael. Her testimony began predictably, with questions centered on her mental health recovery, her financial independence, and her general interactions with the Corinthos family. But the tone shifted dramatically when Rick began weaving his true strategy into the interrogation. Sasha's face paled when Rick asked about recent personal developments. Her hesitation was palpable. Silence hovered over the room until, finally, she admitted what Nina had long suspected: she was pregnant. Audible gasps echoed through the gallery. Before anyone could regain composure, Rick followed up with the question everyone silently anticipated: was Michael the father? Sasha's lips trembled. Her eyes darted to Willow, then to Michael. With the weight of the moment pressing down on her, she nodded. The courtroom exploded into whispers, the judge calling for order repeatedly. It should have ended there, with a bombshell revelation that would have been enough to shake the foundation of Michael and Willow's custody case. But Sasha hadn't finished. Unprompted, as though needing to finally release a truth she had buried for too long, Sasha went on to describe an encounter she had witnessed, an intimate moment between Drew Cain and Nina Reeves. Her statement suggested a romantic and possibly manipulative relationship between them, calling into question Nina's integrity and Drew's judgment. But Sasha didn't stop there. With tears brimming in her eyes, she revealed another devastating truth. Drew, at one point during his psychological unraveling last year, had used ketamine, an illicit act he managed to cover up through hospital connections and the quiet cooperation of certain Port Charles insiders. The courtroom, now stunned into silence, reeled from the implications. These weren't just character flaws, they were serious allegations. The involvement of drugs, hidden romantic entanglements, and perjury by omission could fundamentally alter the course of a custody decision. Rick, though partially blindsided by the depth of Sasha's confession, wasted no time in turning her words into a weapon against Drew's parental legitimacy. Sasha's testimony forced the court to reconvene behind closed doors. For 2 long hours, attorneys, child advocates, and the judge pored over her statements, corroborating what they could and weighing the impact of what could not be immediately proven. Willow, who had remained largely silent throughout the proceedings, sat frozen beside Michael. Her eyes stared ahead, unblinking. Every betrayal, every twist of fate, each one seemed to press tighter around her chest. Then came the verdict. The judge returned, face unreadable, and delivered a decision that rocked both families. In light of the revelations brought forth during Sasha's testimony, particularly the implication of drug use and ethical misconduct, Drew was deemed temporarily unfit for custody. His visitation rights would be suspended pending a full investigation. Nina, by association and due to her perceived manipulation of the case, was barred from direct contact with the children until further notice. The children's primary custody remained with Michael, but the court ordered psychological evaluations for all parties involved, including Sasha. The judge emphasized the court's responsibility to protect the children from emotional instability and ensure they were not being used as pawns in adult conflicts. As the final words of the verdict echoed through the room, Willow stood slowly, then collapsed. Her body crumpled to the floor before anyone could react. Panic erupted. Michael knelt beside her, calling her name as medics rushed in. Her pulse was shallow, her skin cold. The strain of months of tension, legal warfare, betrayal, and humiliation had finally pushed her to a breaking point. It was as if her body could no longer bear the burden her heart had carried for too long. Outside the courtroom, news spread like wildfire. Social media buzzed with speculation. The Port Charles press, already circling due to the high-profile nature of the custody dispute, latched onto Sasha's revelations. Drew's team scrambled to prepare statements. Nina refused to comment. Rick claimed victory, though privately questioned the depth of the damage Sasha had wrought, not just to the opposing side, but to his own strategy and image. Back at General Hospital, Willow regained consciousness under the watchful eyes of a medical team. She said little. Her gaze lingered on the ceiling tiles, unfocused, as if searching for a reality she could still believe in. Michael sat quietly beside her, holding her hand but unable to find the words to comfort her. Because how do you console someone whose entire foundation has crumbled beneath them? For Sasha, the fallout was swift. Though many commended her bravery for speaking up, others questioned her timing and motives. Was it justice, or vengeance? Was she trying to protect the unborn child she now carried? Or was it a desperate act of redemption? Whatever the reason, her truth had changed everything. And in the aftermath, Port Charles was left to pick up the pieces of a custody war that had torn apart far more than just legal agreements. It had dismantled trust, unraveled relationships, and exposed hidden sins that could never again be buried. In the end, it wasn't just a question of who was fit to raise the children, it was whether anyone in that courtroom could still look at themselves in the mirror without flinching.